welcome everyone to the Truth Table. I'm Paul Everton. It's episode 31, season 2. And I have two guests that have advocated for drug addiction, homelessness, and have both delegated with the city council trying to create a state of emergency so we can address these issues right away. A lot has happened today. As most of you already know, the court found the invocation at the Emergencies Act was illegal. Now we need consequences for every politician involved, the freezing of bank accounts, the police and RCMP who followed unlawful orders, who knew darn well they were following off and beating protesters who were peaceful and jumpy castles and assaulted peaceful protesters. And then we have to deal with the mail-in ballots that brought a win to the Liberals, and the polls that say they got an 80% approval rate, which is absolutely not true. We can't trust the polls. We can't trust the media. The media were giving us daily reports of cases based on PCR tests that were overcycled and created a 97% false positive. They've filled our jails so immigrants who get arrested get released. They do this also with the repeat offenders, who's Stephen has also advocated for. Trying to stop this from happening. A lot of people are doing it, Bam Bam and my friend Jimmy. So I proposed a petition, which I sent Stephen in the email, if you get that later. A petition to the appropriate members of parliament and the ministries involved to have these repeat offenders put in a segregated prison system. It would be like a 15-minute city, where they have shopping and they can work and basically fund the prison, and they won't have access to women or children, so they cannot reoffend. And they also will be doing something that's good for their soul, like building mini homes for the homeless, and they will also be building homes for themselves. So they will be able to stay once they serve their time, like someone who is a violent offender. I believe in separating them, but they can also build their own homes, and if they don't have anywhere to go, they can, and they're free to go, they can still work in the facility and keep their home that they built for themselves. This is a way to deal with the homelessness by creating homes that cities can buy and put on property and house people with no homes, but also with drug addictions. We also have to deal with that properly. You don't throw them in jail and just make them cold turkey cut. You have to wean them off. You have to treat them. You also have to treat the mental issues that are causing these problems. We want to heal people. We want people to leave prison better people. We want to remove the heavy metals from their bodies. We want to feed them nutritious meals for their mind and their body and their souls. But building these mini homes will be an opportunity for them to make money, to send money to their families if they have wife and kids, what have you, or they can keep their homes that way, and they can work and be productive and also pay for the facilities. There's ways to do this where the taxpayer doesn't have to pay. It's self-funding, and public oversight is an absolute must. We cannot let greed in there. Like in the prison system, they have a bag of chips and it's, way overpriced. They're just using, the fact that people are incarcerated to profiteer. So my proposal is a way to end that profiteering, keeping the public involved with oversight so there's no abuses at any point in time, with audits on a regular basis every year. People do have good ideas. And if the government rejects this petition, it also shows us who they are. But this was a milestone today with the proving that what they did, what Freeland did, freezing the bank accounts, was illegal. We're talking about criminal behavior, and our present unelected premier, prime minister, was behind it all. He was in there, called him seditionist. So we're dealing with a crime situation. This isn't Canada the country, this is Canada the crime scene. So there are a lot of good people that can start suing individuals, the police that beat them, all the. It is time to peacefully, in be proactive and do something to help our fellow man. Now, there's a lot that has to be done. My petition is only dealing with the prison system and trying to be as humane as possible. But, predators should not be let back into the public. They should, especially repeat offenders, they have a problem. And I don't believe in the death penalty. I don't believe in castration. I don't believe in punitive. I believe they just should be segregated. Let them work and don't let them have access to children or female, adult females. And it's not just males that are doing this. There are a lot of females doing this too, teachers. I have a list. But, we have to hate the sin. We cannot hate the sinner. We have to understand that. People that are addicted to drugs may do horrible things to get their drugs. But don't hate the sin. I mean, hate the sin, not the sinner. We can do much better. We are a good people. Everyone I know, like my two guests here today, are wonderful people that care about their fellow man and want to be proactive and want, to do something, anything, to come up with solutions. Cheryl has been in nursing. She's been injured from her, shots. And, they never admit to their wrongs. I've seen a lot of people that have suffered. One nurse, that's dying, basically. She's been on my show twice. And it's horrible to watch her, fade away. And no one's helping her. And now we have Carney we have to deal with, who was behind the insurrection, behind the lockdowns and behind all of that. Well, I'm going to bring my guests on right after.
I believe the progress that we have made in the partnership sets us up well for the new world order.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Now, we are going to be talking about Welland, Ontario, which is one of, in dire need of help. And really, it's all created by the government. These are all not natural things that are happening. I have people just down the street that are constantly bent over from fentanyl. And there's no help for them. They're just allowing them to continue and disintegrate, self-destruct. And it's not coming from China. They've got a laboratory in Alberta, the biggest one, and one in British Columbia. I'm going to bring my first guest on. Cheryl has been on my show many times, and I appreciate you coming on again. Thank you for coming. It's good to see you, my friend. It's been a long time.
Hey, Paul. Good to see you too.
And
Kind of
we've
missed
worked
seeing
together.
you.
Yes, yes, that's true. We have a lot of fun when we work together. And but we both care about people, we both care and we're doing our own things. So I'm going to bring Stephen on as well. Um, welcome,
Okay.
Stephen. Welcome, Stephen, and thank you for coming as well.
Great to be with you, Paul.
Hey, Stephen.
Hey,
So do
Cheryl.
you, so do you
My
have an up
favorite guy's here.
now? You have an update on your delegations with the Emergencies Act because they did that in Niagara Falls. They had declared an emergency here, but I don't see any changes.
So I want to just clarify that point, Paul. There were
Hmm.
multiple emergencies declared throughout Niagara municipalities, City of Niagara Falls, City of Thorold, Town of Grimsby,
Yep.
and Niagara Regional Council for the whole Niagara region. So this is not just a problem limited to my city of Welland. This is a problem locally, provincially, and nationally, Paul. And
Yep.
I believe that the emergency legislation can be used for good as much as it's been used for evil. So that is my opinion of the matter, and I'd be happy to get into more of that throughout the program.
Yes, well, Cheryl was telling me that you had advanced, that there were some outcomes. So let us know what you were talking about, Cheryl.
Okay, so the outcomes that came out of the declared state of emergency back in 2023, when it was declared in health committee, I'm getting background. I don't know why.
It's me. Hold on. Yeah, I just don't like wearing the headphones. It messes my hair up, eh?
Sorry.
Your hair looks
Is
great, Paul.
You look cute. You look cute, Paul.
I'm only in my 20s, but I had a hard life. So tell. Okay,
Right?
go. Is it gone
I'm
now?
still 19.
It's gone.
Perfect. All right.
It's gone now. So when it was declared February 14th of 2023, in health committee, we went to the region and there was a couple of delegations and they declared the state of emergency on mental health, homelessness, and addictions there. What the province gave at that point was $20.8 million. And the region dispersed it out to 5 different agencies to the tune of $18.1 million. So we have gotten that far. And I'll let Stephen explain with our provincial emergencies operations center and what we needed to go forward in council a couple months ago, and then the delegations that are coming up February 10th in social committee meeting. Based upon the provincial emergencies operations center and who needs to contact PIOC. So I'll let Stephen take over on that one.
Okay, so just to clarify some of Cheryl's points, Cheryl is a wonderful advocate. I have been honored to stand side by side with her in this fight for better mental health, homelessness, and addiction services. But Paul, the committee on February 14th, 2023 voted on the state of emergency, but then it had to go to regional council to be ratified by the entire regional council. So technically the declaration happened later on in the month, not February 14th, just for your viewers to clarify. I believe it was February 23rd, if I'm correct. So
yeah, you're correct on that one, Stephen. Yep.
So yeah, that was a very important date for us, but February 14th was the start. to it. And I have been advocating for a state of emergency since 2019, and Cheryl came along a little later. I joined her for her Ward 6 City Council campaign in 2022, and we ran on the state of emergency for mental health, homelessness, and addiction. And you show me a candidate who gets over 20% of the popular vote their first time out, because Cheryl Rowe did. And that's incredible. It's not usually what you see from a new face. So people cared about this issue. And when I ran for Ward 3 in 2021, I came in second place out of 6 candidates. And I ran on mental health, homelessness, and addiction. Usually there's 2 seats available at Welland Council, but this was a by-election due to a resignation. And Paul, it was the worst election. They made it 100% mail-in. It was era. I don't think it was fair play, but I have my own opinions about that. Here's the deal. We had these municipalities declare, and we have not, as the public, heard anything from the PEOC, the Provincial Emergency Operations Center. The region tells us they informed them, but I am being told I would have to FOI, Freedom of Information, that correspondence. Why can't they just be forthright with us about what's happening with the state of emergency? Because are they just purposely treating it like it's symbolic, sweeping it under the rug to make the advocates be quiet?
Yeah, and keep the money.
Yeah.
Is there any oversight on the money?
Well, this is a good point. They gave, there's a little bit of arguing in the background, so if you hear that. But just give me a moment. Cheryl can touch on the money.
Okay, so what they did is the region received the money from the province, and they received $20.8 million. 18.1 million of it was dispersed between 5 different agencies. What was to come of that was they were going to create heart hubs. Nothing has happened with these heart hubs. The funding, where is it? We don't know. We don't know where this funding has gone, nor do we know how it's going to be implemented. But we do know that there was to the tune of almost $8 million, and they opened up 3 temporary homeless shelters.
Okay,
And
so just some
go ahead,
clarification
Stephen.
on that. The $20.8 million was for homelessness prevention, and I am super proud that we were able to achieve that goal. And the region came back and said, it's probably somewhat due to the emergency, but not really. And they played a little bit of avoidance when it came to acknowledging how important the state of emergency is, and not a little bit of avoidance, a lot of avoidance. They didn't want to acknowledge that the advocates were right. And Stephen Soos was right about this issue, and Cheryl Rowe and the other delegates were right about this issue. And so the $20.8 million was a success. I went to West Lincoln Council and asked them to change the funding formula for homelessness, which was giving Hamilton double the money for their homelessness services for virtually the same population as Niagara region at 500,000 between Hamilton and Niagara. So Paul, that makes no sense. Why was it like that? And then I came to find out that the province actually owed the region money for previous homelessness programs that they never implemented. What is going on, Paul? This is egregious.
It's like they are meant to ensure that there is a problem always. It's deliberate.
I'm not going to disagree.
I'm not disagreeing with that statement either.
No, it's the same with the prison
They create
system.
the problem, and then they just want to keep creating it.
Yeah,
And
well,
where was
I mean,
the
it's.
mental? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. It's okay.
Where was the mental health and addiction help? Where was that money? Because I'm going to tell you, we declared mental health, homelessness, and addiction a state of emergency, all three of them, and they only responded to the homelessness portion. But mental health and addiction, look at the issues out on our streets. I work for a local not-for-profit in the food security sector and a food bank, and I'm going to tell you, I see the desperation and the need every day of my life, and it breaks my heart. I've been in that position as a former drug addict, as someone mentally ill, someone involved with the justice system, somebody who was homeless, and there seems to be no help when you're crying out for help. I had to go to Windsor to get drug rehabilitation. It was not sufficient nor available in my region. And so this is the problem, Paul. We have an unbalanced system here. And Barry declared an emergency, and Doug Ford responded. He went down there, he visited the encampments, but Niagara's the forgotten emergency. Why? Because we have CP seats here in Niagara, would be my guess. And so it's not politically beneficial for Doug Ford to fight for Niagara as it is for him to fight for conservative Barrie, right?
No, Niagara's a casino. He wants a big casino here.
Oh, of course.
So he wants people to lose their money with that addiction. So it's just constantly stealing. I would like to see public oversight in Welland. I would like to see a big building built, not temporary, but permanent, with lots of beds, especially in winter. And I would like to see counseling programs. I would like to see weaning program where, weaning them off the drug and dealing with the heavy metals. Same with the prison system. I would like to see the same thing.
So
get rid of the heavy metals and
if I can just respond to that,
wean them off. Yeah. Yes, please.
Before we get too ahead of ourselves, let me respond to that. So once an emergency is declared, the municipality declaring is supposed to inform the Provincial Emergency Operations Center, who is responsible for Ontario's response to the emergency. So I wanted a request for assistance to go out and a comprehensive needs list for mental health, homelessness, and addiction, including more safe beds programs for mental health and hospital diversion, putting mental health back in the Welland Hospital that was taken out of the hospital. I wanted more youth walk-in clinic hours for mental health. I wanted more drug rehabilitation beds and centers. Our detox service is a mess. It's communal. It's got about minimal spaces, and no one should have to watch you withdraw. That's a very private matter, and there's no human dignity in that, Paul. So these are the kind of changes I have been pushing for, and not to mention a treatment program that has transitional housing options attached to it, just like Brentwood Recovery Home in Windsor. So these are all points that Cheryl and I are 100% agreed on. Tiny homes. They were able to build a nice, expensive factory in Welland with a bunch of land called Linmar. And guess what happened, Paul? Nobody works there. It was built and it's empty. What is going on here?
The wealth of Canadians is being stolen.
that was sorry.
Oh, it's okay. The wealth of Canadians are being stolen. All our wealth. Yeah. They're just pillaging us.
Absolutely.
France is pillaging us through Quebec. Now, France pillaged Haiti, and it took 100 years for them to not be slaves anymore. They had to buy out their slavery. So this is what France does. This is why we have to speak English and French to work in politics. It's France. France is a scourge on this earth. This is not the French people. I'm not talking about them. I'm just talking about the government, the corporate, greedy, banking cartels. And they're like, through France, they're stealing all the wealth of the Western countries through this, the payments, what do you call them? the
Equality
payments.
payment.
Yeah, whatever the payments are that the provinces are paying, the have-not provinces.
Yeah,
We
the
have
equality
proven
payment.
we have proven as a country, Paul, that we cannot even take care of our own people. That is the
Yes.
problem here. We have proven
Yes.
that we can't even take care of our own.
Yep.
And
Those
we
that are. Yep. Those. Yep. And there was enough money to make a building, to have a facility, to have the beds, and counselors to pay for counselors, meals. You know, counseling is important with drug addiction. Because it is difficult. And yes, they should have private rooms, and they can have private rooms where they can go through whatever they have to go through. We need to be proactive to make ensure that this happens.
I had a Doug Ford politician, okay, a politician who serves in Doug Ford's caucus. I'm not going to name names. I had a Doug Ford politician tell me that he doesn't believe this is an emergency. Clearly, the people who don't think this is an emergency has never lived it, because an emergency, by its legal definition, is anything that has major proportions to life or property. It
Yeah.
doesn't say in the Emergency Management Act what is classified as an emergency. The municipalities are left up to decide what is declared an emergency. They've declared climate change an emergency.
Yeah.
They've declared food insecurity an emergency.
Yep.
They've treated the climate change emergency more preferential than the mental health, homelessness, and addiction emergency. How many people have died from climate change, and how many people have died from mental health, homelessness, and addiction in this country, in this province, in this community?
It's phenomenal. The numbers are just phenomenal. They really are. It's literally disgusting how many people have died.
And I think there was a question I saw pop up on your screen there, Paul. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
No, he was just mentioning that homelessness is a big business. Mental health is a big business,
Oh, I see.
and he's right.
But he says it will not be solved. But
The government-
we can't have that attitude.
No, the government that we have
Moving
won't solve it. We could solve it, because anyone with compassion and ideas can solve this. I know I could. If you read my my petition, it would solve it completely. The prison system, just dangerous people, keep them out of society, protect our citizens. That's their job, is to protect us, right?
Well,
But
I've
they
been
don't.
fighting for a public registry, a public sex offender registry in Ontario and Canada. I was the first resident in Niagara to bring it to Niagara Falls
Yeah.
Council before a horrific event happened with a toddler
Yeah.
in Welland.
Yeah.
A breaking in a home. Daniel Senecal.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Can you believe this?
It's terrible.
It's egregious.
But
He should be castrated, that man.
well,
He is a dangerous offender. Lock him up and throw away the key.
this is where
Yeah,
segregation.
absolutely.
This is where segregation comes in. So he can't reoffend. It's impossible. He'll be locked up for life. He can work. He can, build homes and do something for society and earn a living, but he has no more access. But what he did was horrible. That's like a worse example. But I don't, this open registry thing is just going to have the, pitchforks going out like Bam Bam screaming on the streets. There's a pedophile in the neighborhood. You're scaring everyone. You're scaring the children. You harm the children, it's better to wrap a rope around your neck and throw yourself in the ocean. That includes Bam
That's a
Bam.
very-
I know how you feel
That's very-
about the crime. I'm just saying, kids do things that are against what their parents want. The 7-year-old, 5-year-old, 13-year-old. They would see them being chased. And some victims. I mean, I'm not considering myself a victim, but I was molested at a young age, and they were family members, 2 of them, and I love them. But if Bam Bam was screaming down the street, I would be terrified for my cousins, because I do love them. I forgive them. So this is why it's counterproductive. Plus, everyone's going to be scared. The kids are going to see there's a pedophile in your neighborhood on a post, and they're going to tell other kids. And then everyone's going to be pointing fingers. Oh, maybe it's him. Maybe it's him. And then you're going to have false allegations, and you're going to rip that neighborhood apart. So it's the opposite of what we want. What we want is to segregate these people out of society so everyone is safe, so kids can play safely. And that's what we're not doing. They're making it more dangerous for us and making everyone freak out and yell on the streets, but really you're terrorizing neighborhoods and ripping them apart because everyone's going to start accusing.
There are laws.
No, everyone's going to start accusing the people they don't like.
There are laws in place.
I know, but
There are laws in place.
this is what the Zionists want. They support Bam Bam. They want to rip apart neighborhoods. They want to kill off the white people. And this is why they're helping them. I'm just saying we can do my bill, my petition is a proposal amendment that will stop this and segregate them so they cannot touch our children. That's really the goal here.
We're on the same page.
Absolutely.
We want to protect the children.
Absolutely.
But you know what? As an Indigenous male, I understand.
Oh yeah.
I see another comment pop up, but I understand what the idea of genocide truly is.
Yeah.
Let me tell
Well,
you.
I'm Micmac. I'm Micmac, so I'm native too.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Good.
I'm just looking at this from a faith perspective. You know,
Brothers.
like if God was here, how can we do this and fix this? You know, that would benefit mankind and do it in a way that with righteousness. Yelling down the street and terrorizing everyone because you are going to scare kids. And it says that's a harm to kids. Even though they're trying to protect them and warn them, they're still terrifying them because now they're scared to death. Oh no, there's a pedophile.
My purpose of the public registry is to create a strong deterrent to make the offender think twice.
But you're going to get Bam Bams.
This time, you're going to be on a public registry for the rest of your life.
You're going to get Bam Bams that are going to bring their bullhorns to in front of their house, and they're going to be egged and terrorized. Whoever, and they're loved. Even the worst of us are loved by their father and their mother and their brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? Even though they're terrible people, this is why we have to hate the sin and not the sinner. And we have to protect ourselves. We have to protect our children. And the way we have an unfit government that caused all of this. They could have done this.
Agreed.
They could have done this a long time ago. You know,
Agreed.
And all three of us are doing something, we're
fighting.
Yeah. And I'm going to keep making petitions and amendments to do whatever I can. Mine is just the correction facilities and segregating the nonviolent and the violent, separating these people, because you have a lot of, poverty crimes and you just don't want them because we want to get the prison authority, take that away from the prisoners because they have a law within the prison. And they, I've seen two guys, I was falsely arrested, and I seen two guys they were best friends, and they had to fight each other until one was knocked out just because they admitted their guilt. So they, in turn, they ratted each other out. So because of that, they put soap in socks. See, this kind of justice within the system has to end, too. We have to stop it. We have to get the violent people away from the nonviolent people to protect, because, people commit crimes. Some of them learn from their mistakes. Some of them never learn. But we do need to segregate the violent people until they're no longer violent.
Cheryl and I have been fighting for a community watch program locally since 2019. And City of Welland turned us down. And guess who the swing vote was for that, Paul?
NDP.
It was the mayor of Welland, Frank Campion. Can you believe that?
Yeah, we went into Welland Council asking for the community watch program to be implemented and it was a 50-50 vote, and Frank Campion was the swing vote, and he voted no.
Mm-hmm.
He voted no. And that same night, I tried to get a mental health and addiction committee. Same result. The mayor's people voted no. It tied. And guess what? A tie loses in municipal politics.
Yeah.
I think that's egregious.
It is.
I think I think if it was a tied vote, they should change. They
Yeah.
should change their procedural bylaw, and they should look into mechanisms to change.
So yeah, so
It should have another chance,
Mhm.
and now it can't be reintroduced. It's ridiculous.
So what happened
I
with
think-
that community watch program was Stephen reached out to Bill 40 and he got Bill 40 to
NRPC.
contact me, and I spoke with Bill 40, and he explained that he'll bring it before the police board, and he brought it before the police board, and they agreed to bring back the community watch program. I have to thank Bill 40. He stated that he had it in his area before he became police chief in Niagara, and he was wondering why. He was really wondering why it was not. We didn't have a community watch program in Niagara for the numbers of crime to addictions.
Mhm.
All we were talking about, Paul, was we were talking about crime prevention by environmental design.
Mhm.
So helping residents retrofit their properties to make it safer, better lighting, cameras,
Yeah.
teaching them how to make their property safer,
Mhm.
putting up some signs that say community watch neighborhood,
Yeah.
some door stickers. It wasn't rocket science, but City of Welland can put 40-kilometer signs everywhere as part of their push to
Yep.
make Welland, as you say, a 15-minute city.
Yeah.
Right. So
Well, in Hamilton's
this is
NDP,
disagree-
Hamilton's NDP, and they want people to remove their cameras from their houses. See, we have the enemies are in power right now. Carney said, "You agree,
I
right?"
just have to say that sorry, Paul. I
It's
just
okay.
have to say that when you look at the political parties, I this is my opinion and my belief is they're all working together.
Yes,
They're
they
all
are.
working together to create issues,
Yep.
to create more taxes, to
Mhm.
make us broke. Like now you look at the homeless situation, right? And you're not just looking at, low income. You're looking at the elderly losing their homes now.
Yeah.
They've had to remortgage their houses in order to eat, in order to pay for nursing services if needed. And they end up losing their houses.
Yeah, it's
They're
terrible.
out in the street now too, you know?
Let
But going
me,
back to
let
the
me just
community
clarify-
watch program,
Let me just clarify
when
my point, Cheryl.
yep,
So I said that a change to the procedural bylaw needed to happen for a tie vote. What I meant to say is a change in the Municipal Act 2001, where tie votes are a defeated motion. I think, and of course the province is the master of the municipalities. Doug Ford can do whatever he wants. He
Yep.
can cut Toronto Council in half. He can
Yep.
tomorrow he could eliminate Niagara Region. He can do whatever he wants.
Yep.
And so, and he's proven that, and he's proven he's not afraid to use the notwithstanding
Yep.
clause
Yep.
when he's challenged legally.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Well,
he
you
didn't-
can thank Ford too for the strong mayor powers.
Yes. Yeah.
He
Scam.
was a big part
scam.
of that.
And he didn't fix the schools. He didn't get rid of the woke DEI crap. Bill 67 was introduced by NDP, which is critical race theory. It's basically a war against white people. And they
Yeah.
all voted. Green Party, NDP, Liberals, Conservatives, all voted unanimously. So we have nobody. And Dominion voting machines vote for us. So we have no vote. And the mail-in ballots, that's how they cheat. That's how the Liberals won. So we're in a bad situation. We're in a crime scene. we have
They were
the only advocates
they were
we have.
able, Paul.
The only advocates we have are each other.
Yeah, Paul. They were able to do everything properly when they declared a COVID emergency. I'm just reading Jimmy Jackson. Politics is dead, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
They don't listen to the people spreading the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
I'll tell you, there was me and Cheryl delegated at regional council,
Yep.
right? And one of the counselors, when we left, called us clowns. They said the circus has left. The clowns have left. The
Oh.
circus is gone.
Unbelievable.
Something like that.
Disgusting.
And a counselor called me to tell me what had happened, who's a friend of mine. And so this is how they view the advocates, Paul.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely terrible. But so they were able to do everything properly during the COVID emergency, but then they pretend like they don't know what they're doing during the mental health, homelessness, and addiction emergency. I lost my best friend from addiction. I lost my best friend, 19 years old, gone.
Well, we are in a bad situation, and Carney is embracing Islam now. And Islam, 6-year-old brides is okay. Honor killing. The Sikhs can have a kirpan, which is a knife, so they're allowed to have a weapon. And none of us are allowed, but they are. So they have, and they're in our parliament. They've got seats in the House. So it is a takeover. And in Iraq, we had the war there, and now it's legal to have 9-year-old brides. So they are advocates for the Islamic religion, which means child brides, child pornography, child sex, all the worst things that every parent is terrified of. And Carney is embracing it and opening his arms. We are an Islamic country now, and no, we're not an Islamic country, but we are invaded, and our prisons are overcrowded, so the immigrants can be released back in, so they can just continue to terrorize Canadians. We're in a bad situation, but today's win in the court allows us to start suing these people, and we should. Everyone should. If you were harmed by the vaccine, the police, the lockdown, you lost your job, all these things, you can go one-on-one civil court and start suing, because now it is shown to be a crime. What they did was a crime, and I know that we're dealing with criminals here. These are criminals that know how to keep their power.
Well,
Everyone that's coming in here would vote Islam, would vote liberals, but once they take power, even though they're voting liberals, they will take power. Then they will start taking down the LGBT, because they're against that. They're voting for them. Yeah,
I
the
wanted to
DEI
say,
and
Paul, I work with immigrants, right? And there are some very kind and caring and loving immigrants
sure.
that I have met. in
I
my
agree.
life. So I
I
don't want to
agree.
paint everybody with the same brush.
No,
but
no, I don't either. But there are, even the states have said a lot of criminals and gangs and everything are in Canada, and the fentanyl factories, and there's like 6 mafias, families running these fentanyl drug
fentanyl's out of control.
programs.
Out of control.
Yeah, but this is our government causing the problem, because they want to destroy our country, and
I
they're
can't
laughing
tell
at
you-
us for trying.
I can't
save
tell
our
you how
country.
many times. I can't tell you how many times, Paul, I have cried in Cheryl Rowe's arms because society is broken. Like, I will
Yeah.
admit that. I will admit that today.
Yeah.
I'm a man, but let me tell you, I break down. I when I lost my best friend,
Sure.
same thing. It affected me and it probably will affect me for the rest of my life. And I see. Go ahead, Cheryl.
Yep.
I'm rambling.
No, I have to say that, I've walked along Stephen for many years now, and I have to say he has come a long way. He has more strengths, lots of knowledge in order to push things forward.
Mhm.
He knows what he's doing. He knows what we need. He's a person with lived experience. I'm a mother of people, like my kids, with lived experience. Stephen was there. He tried to help me with my niece. My niece is in dire straits right now, which, falls along the justice system. because she was arrested. They tried to find surety through family members and friends first. Next step was they were looking for surety through one of our agencies, which is the John Howard Society. And then it went from, oh, well, we're going to have to do a plea deal to release her. So Stephen had asked the duty council that day that was taking care of my niece, asked, has there ever been an order of rehabilitation? And her reply was, yes, but it's very rare. No, well, we need this happening, right? So
We
like
have
Stephen and I
officers.
also attended Sam Osterhoff's office, and we were both asking for a change of the Mental Health Act. Because I tried to go to the justice, to the judge and ask for, one of the 72-hour assessments.
And they
We
blew her
filled out
off.
the application. The judge turned
They blew
around
her off.
and stated that, oh, but this is about this application is all about mental health. It's not about addictions. She says we can get rid of this application. You can rewrite it, come back again, but you have to base it all on mental health. So that's why we went to Sam Osterhoff's office to ask him, to change the sections and change the name of the Mental Health Act to the Mental Health and Addictions
Addiction
Act.
Act. But
Yeah,
here's the thing.
and with that, we could change, and hopefully the more judges would use rehabilitation instead of probation.
You can apprehend, police can apprehend someone, Paul, under the Mental Health Act, and then a psychiatrist or a doctor can form a patient. A doctor can form a patient, but they can't do the same for addiction. And on top of that, if they're going to look into forced addiction, which they really should, because I wish someone would have forced me into addiction when I was at my lowest point. I ended up in some very difficult spots in my life, the trap house, the jail, you name it, almost the grave as well because of my addiction. And they can form you under the Mental Health Act, but you can't form someone who has severe addiction and is proving they can't take care of themselves, like Cheryl's niece. We tried to get her to rehab. I had a detox bed for her. What did she do? She is so ill, she called the police on us for kidnapping, and she was on conditions to be of good behavior, Paul. And they let her do that. It's unbelievable what is going on.
Yep.
And we're just there caring, and showing our love. And we know what she's going through. We understand her. And I had her for 4 days. She over the phone, they filled out the application for 3 different detox centers. But when it was time to take her, it's like 15 minutes into the drive out of Welland. Stop, I can't do this. So both Stephen and I spoke to her, not nastily, not angrily, not forcibly, ask her questions, and, it was no, no, no. And then that's when she turned on us and said, well, I'm going to call the police because you're holding me against my will. No, I turned the car around. So what ended up happening is she ended up calling them. And in that conversation with the police, it had ended with her. And then I told the police myself, we are not holding her against her will. We are bringing her back to Welland.
How is she on the phone? That's what I yelled out. How is she on the phone if we're kidnapping her? I wouldn't let her use the phone if I was kidnapping her. Okay?
And the dispatcher hung up the phone on her. The phone on her.
And she should have. I called her probation officer to tell them what had happened. They didn't even return my call, Paul. She's on a condition to be of good behavior, yet she's committing public mischief by filing a false report on us, and we're just helping her try to get to rehab that she had agreed to go to. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
exactly. I can almost understand. I can almost understand her perspective. You're a threat to the addiction ending. You know what I mean? You're like Get away from me.
100%.
Because you mark the end of the pleasure. Because it usually is a pleasure, or it's a way to escape. I understand that. I understand that. That's why fentanyl is so popular, is because it's an escape. But
I
this is a
understand
hard.
that. I have been on those substances. I totally understand that. And
Yeah.
I caught a counselor named Sharmila Sitaram for conflict of interest, and I exposed all her corruption. The Ward 3 counselor for Welland. We got into a legal battle. She got the city lawyer after me, and her best friend said on there, Stephen Soos is only in a legal battle with Sharmila Sitaram so he can buy meth if he wins. Essentially, that's what her best friend Tia DeGazio said. These are garbage
Terrible.
people. Garbage.
Garbage.
It's
Yeah.
garbage.
But
You don't
these people
talk
have been
like that.
weaponized. Liberals have been
They have.
weaponized. You have to understand. This is a brainwashing
And she's a
thing.
big
and-
DEI.
yeah,
diversity
they
queen,
are.
right?
They are.
So,
Yep,
but she's
yep.
attacking an indigenous male, but she's a DEI diversity queen. How hypocritical.
So-
but I'm glad
I
you put up
added-
my
I added-
show.
Yeah, I added
love
the
it.
link. I added the link so anybody who's watching this can find you. The link is in the description, so you can watch his videos and his interviews. He's doing what I'm doing, trying our best, to do what we can. I just wanted to show that for a moment.
To play any of those clips, Paul?
Yeah, I sure could.
You mind playing the one where I have more to say about the state of emergency, but before we do
Yeah.
that, you mind if you scroll down, the one where I'm holding the megaphone. If you
Oh, there's
go up a
Cheryl right
little-
here.
There's Cheryl.
I see
Yeah,
Cheryl.
she's my
Yeah.
Yeah,
she's my
there's me.
partner. Right there
That's
where
not-
it says Stephen. That's the wrong one.
Okay.
There's another one.
Let me go back here. Right here, Stevenson.
Right there. Yeah, that's the one.
All right.
That way.
Okay, let me full screen here. Take us off.
I'm looking for. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm looking for Stephen Soos.
All right, Steven.
Thanks, everyone. And I'm proud to see a community coming together. I'm glad everyone is now awake. We need to fight hard against violent crime and violent offenders. This is an emergency. I want to thank all the counselors who have been by my side for 6 years while we've been trying to figure out the complex social issues such as violent crime. And though Mayor Campion and I have our differences, he is going to fight damn hard to ensure there is a public sex registry. We'll settle it later. I also tried to put together a community watch program, and we were one vote short. And I know that we can rectify that situation.
Sign me up.
It's the day I've been waiting for, the day of reconciliation, because it is about all the sexual assault victims in our region. That's who this is for today, including myself. So, I know there's a lot of anger, and I know there's a lot of skepticism, but please, do not stop believing in your community. We are here for you, and we are proving it today. You have to thank the first responders who responded to this situation, no matter our differences with them right now.
Exactly.
They were brave. They take that home with them, and their families suffer because of that. So, first responders, wherever you are, we thank you. I am here for you. I see that. We're gonna fight hard. We're gonna ensure there's bail reform, and we're gonna be sure that the perpetrator is labeled a dangerous offender. But today, you're witnessing true justice.
Yes.
And to that little girl, thank you for the courage to wake up an entire community. You are who we are honoring in this story. Thank you very much.
Yeah, to do that to a child, I think that's horrible. But you have to understand the people that are coming in here. It's their religion. Like, it's okay for them. So we're in more danger from them than each other.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And our government wants it. It wants it. They have a plan to eliminate white people. Now, I'm not a white person, but I think that's terrifying because I know a lot of wonderful white people, and I don't like that idea. A lot of these settlers, the white settlers that came here, built beautiful cities, and there are builders and our creators and our innovators. But like Somalia, they live in dumps. They don't create anything. They just have these shells of homes that they live in. So they don't benefit their own country, and they certainly wouldn't benefit our country.
Well,
Now, I don't mean to be cold, but I'm just saying every country has to deal with their own situations. And what they're doing is they're flooding in really bad people. There are some good people. Like you said, I'm not going to put all the eggs in one basket. I'm not saying all the immigrants are bad. I'm just saying there's no vetting, and there's illegal immigration happening, and there's 2 million people that are supposed to leave that may not leave, and it costed a fortune just to get rid of like 26,000 to send them back home. So we're dealing with a dire situation, and you're just showing an example on a local level what they're doing to us. Our own government.
I was
Yeah, go
hoping to show how much advocacy means to me and Cheryl. I'm here to save the lives of your children.
Yes.
I'm here to save your life.
Yes.
I understand what it's like to be going through these issues.
Yeah.
I know what it's like to be left on the street in my own vomit. I know, Paul. I know that this is an emergency.
Yes.
And all I'm asking the region to do, Paul, is to get the community emergency management coordinator to talk to the provincial operations emergency center and put together a wish list of things Niagara needs to address our mental health, our declared mental health, homelessness, and addiction emergency. Why can't the, as I said, the emergency be good? It can. We've seen it be used for cruel intentions, but we can use this emergency legislation for good. And then I had a duty officer, when I tried to talk to them myself and put together my own wish list, I had a duty officer say, well, you're not a community emergency management coordinator. Okay, but who's fighting? What do these community emergency management coordinators do all day? They have a declared emergency for mental health, homelessness, and addiction, and they're not, what are they doing? Twiddling their thumbs and watching Netflix? Like, give me a break.
Yes, they have to be proactive and show the programs. But any adult that penetrates a child, they should be segregated. They should not be let out in public ever. They should be segregated forever, because this is a selfishness, and they have to deal with that selfishness on their, away from society. That's going way too far. I mean, my ex-wife was molested by her own father when she was 8, and he penetrated her at 8 years old.
sickening.
And
Terrible.
he should have
So
been.
disgusting.
But I mean, she had 8 affairs on me, and she walked all over me because of my compassion, because I kept taking her back, because I felt sorry for her, because of my empathy, because I saw her as a victim, and we don't want to create coddled victims. We want to make them strong. We want to make them learn from this horrible thing that happened to them. We want to empower them and strengthen their faith. And you know what I mean? Coddling is the worst thing. And I know that, for example, because I coddled her and she just railroaded me. But anyone who does that, anyone that does that to a child, or even an adult, I mean, if someone is that selfish to, take from another human being, and Islam, they just have to grab your right arm, and your marriage is nullified. Like that's what Muhammad did. He killed one of his wife's husbands. She was married under God. They had vows under God, and he beheaded her husband, and she ended up killing him. She poisoned him and killed him. That's Muhammad's story. So Islam is it's not holy at all to me. So anyway,
No, and
as a
I agree
victim-
with you, Paul.
as a
Absolutely, I
victim of
agree with you.
sexual assault- As a victim of sexual assault myself, childhood sexual assault, I understand what these victims are going through. And
yes,
but yes, I agree. We need to empower the victims and help them take their life back.
But using a
And this is what I'm
megaphone,
doing with the
using it, see, is so common, especially with family, that if you use a megaphone through a thing, you're going to terrorize everyone that's doing something inappropriate. And there's a lot of them. So they will think, oh no, they know about, a 17-year-old and a 13-year-old cousin, or, you know what I mean? They're all going to be terrified because they did this behind their parents' back. And you know what I mean? They have that guilt. So, you're going to be terrifying everybody who's experimenting, even if it might be a little inappropriate and there's a little bit of an age gap, teen, and, there's a lot of experimenting going on. But someone who's an adult and takes, they should be segregated from society and be allowed to work, be allowed to shop, have a garden, be humane with them, let them work and give back to society, build mini homes for the homeless, and for the people with addictions, and let them have a place to stay and do something good that will, help their soul for what they've done, the harm they've done. So as a society, we have to be righteous in our, let him with no sin throw the first stone. None of us can judge this person, even though we know he did something horrible and he should not be in society. That is our government's flaw. And we need to sign petitions. The petition I sent you will solve it. So it addresses everything. And, there are people like me that are proactive on a legal, that are drafting amendments to solve these problems. This is the time. The awakening is happening. The veil is lifting. The snake is shedding its skin. And we're the ones that are going to do something about it. We're proactive. We're the ones, delegating like you two. And you care about people. But terrorizing is not the way to do it. We have to do it with love and light. And that's what I promote.
When I pick up a megaphone, it's to spread a positive message.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Barrett there in the comments said love and light. That's for sure. I agree with that. Like this
Amen.
is I myself am a Christian, so I agree with the message of love and light. And when I was facing addiction, because I've relapsed a few times, and that's part of recovery, of course.
Absolutely.
It happens. And when I relapsed a few times, there was one family who took me in. And you know who that family was? Dave Bilsma.
I like that guy. I see you interviewed
the former
him.
Mayor of Westland.
Yeah, you interviewed him, and they wouldn't even let him in his own office because he wouldn't wear a mask.
They wouldn't.
Like, God.
He wouldn't wear a mask.
But they showed themselves, didn't
and
they?
that man took me in when I was an addict. And and the media, the paid off traditional bias.
I'm gonna have to interview him. I'm gonna have to interview him. He's a wonderful man. Yes. Actually, you
I'll
both.
call him for you, Paul.
Yeah, you both are amazing. You both are amazing, and because it takes courage to delegate in front of council. Because there's a lot of
Yeah.
arrogance in there.
It sure does. Yeah.
That comes with their job. There's kind of a
When
self-important.
some of them are calling you a clown.
There's a lot of self-importance that's happening in St. Catharines. I saw that with a lot of the councilors.
Oh,
And
yeah.
arrogance, and you elected me. But it goes to some people just can't handle power. I did fine with power. I was elected to be the leader of my band after 2 years. I became leader. I ran everything, and it was, a tight ship. I ran everything very well. We were very successful. We ended up opening up for Reba McEntire. I mean, we were on our way, and then I hired Ronnie Hawkins' son, Robin Hawkins, but he wanted to change the name. You see the arrogance, eh? Now, I love Robin.
Yeah.
He's like a brother to me. We toured 2 years, and his father was amazing, famous. He knew. I think he hooked me up with Reba McEntire, but he played at Bill Clinton's wedding, so he knew everybody. But anyway,
And
I'm the kind of person.
Yeah, go on.
I'm the kind of person that wouldn't abuse power. I don't want
Right.
power. I don't seek power. I did run as a libertarian because I do believe that, there are answers, there are solutions. But I think we're at an end game right now. They told us 2030, you own nothing. I mean, they have a deadline, they have a goal. And I see all over Europe, it's against a war against white people. What the hell? White people have brought amazing things to our world. This war is like the banking cartel. As a Christian, in the Christian faith, you're not supposed to have usury. That means no compound interest and interest on debt. We before 1974, we had the Bank of Canada gave interest-free loans to the cities, and we built the Seaway and the 401 interest-free, and then Pierre Elliott Trudeau ended that and basically sold us to the Ashkenazi banking cartel, the Khazarian mafia, whatever you want to call them. They basically run Israel. They run. I'm going to get killed now. So I may, because I may be.
Don't be
I may,
surprised if you get a knock at the door there.
I'm not as big as Charlie Kirk, but I am. I may start working with Turning Point Canada, and I do look forward to that. I will be doing this basically. What I'm doing now. See the logo.
PP can?
Yeah. So I'll be using that logo when I'm doing stuff for them. Yeah. But I believe in the message of the Christian faith. I wouldn't call myself a Christian. I found out that all of them, the Talmud, the Torah, the Gita, the Quran, they've all been the Quran and the Bible is basically a Jesuit thing to create conflict of interest. They have a different story about Jesus. Even the Talmud has a different story of Jesus. They all talk about him. So it took discernment and really strong faith and almost dying
You know what I love?
to find the
You know
truth.
what I love about Christianity? But
But I believe in this.
well,
I believe in the standard
that
of
and-
Christianity. Like him with he with no sin, throw the first stone. I believe in that. I live by that, and that's why I can't condemn, judge, castrate these pedophiles, even though they're horrible people. I hate their sin. God hates their sin. But if there are ways to fix it. We can fix this. And someone that's not a repeat, someone
Well-
did it once, they need to go and deal with this selfishness. And people that are violent criminals, they need boot camp. They need to learn self-respect and respecting others. And we have ways to do this. and we
Jesus
are going to
Christ.
change it, or we're going to lose everything. Because 2030
Yeah,
is our
for
deadline.
sure.
And this April,
Jesus Christ hung out with the prostitutes. Jesus Christ hung out with
yes.
the lepers.
Yeah.
Jesus hung out with the most vulnerable sectors of
Yes.
society. This
Yep.
is this is the people we're not loving these people. We hate on the addicts. We hate on the homeless.
Yes.
We hate on the mentally ill.
But he sees
this is division at its very worst.
he
Oh,
sees what
absolutely, Stephen.
but he
yeah.
sees what I see. He saw the kingdom of heaven within all of us. Even that guy who did that horrible thing, there's still a divine light in him. He still has a purpose, but what he did, he shouldn't be trusted again. He's obviously very selfish. There's a lot of selfish people out there. And we can protect society by segregating them. Let them work, let them make money, let the taxpayers off the hook. We're not going to pay for it. They're going to do something for their fellow man, building mini homes to facilitate the homeless. And the government, the city of Welland, needs to build a facility where they can feed, house, treat, and give beds, private beds, to these people in need.
I brought it
We have no
forth that
services in Welland.
I brought
We
it
have no
forth.
services.
I brought it forth in regional council through one of my delegations that,
have
you
a-
know, I want an emergency mental health, homelessness, and addiction center.
Yeah. Yes.
And you know, there is land to build it. There is money there. You know, there's money that the Heart Hubs Heart Hubs was supposed to be implemented. It wasn't implemented. So where's the money for the Heart Hubs? Why can't we build a rehabilitation, you know, mental health and homelessness addiction center?
Yes. And
With
one of my last
programs.
guests.
Why can't we have basic services?
Yeah. Actually,
That's what I'm.
one of my guests.
Exactly.
Episode 30, I believe, Shane Wolf. He's a builder. He's built sustainable housing. He could participate in this thing. You know, he's if you check my shows, episode 30, it could be 29, but it wasn't long ago. But he could participate, and he would. He's an amazing guy, and you know, all my guests are amazing. I swear, all of them.
Oh, they are,
Seriously.
Paul. I've watched your replays, and sometimes I've been in the chat, and yeah, no, you have some amazing
Oh.
people come in here. Absolutely.
And really, I think the creator is bringing them to me because I don't really plan. It just happens. And these people just like come forward or other people introduce. And it's just like God's purpose, you know, God's plan. I feel like that's what's happening today. You know, we're going to do something here. But, you know, they
Absolutely.
still want us to implode. The government wants us to have problems. They don't want solutions. Shane offered a solution that would end the climate change alarmism. He proved it was a fraud. And, you know, he was like you. He wanted to find solutions. So, you know, he believed in the climate change, and he was in emergency mode as a man. You know, we like to find solutions. You know, if our girlfriend is hot, you know, we want to install an air conditioner. You know, we just want to comfort those we love. You know, we want to secure the ones we love, just as fathers want to protect their daughters from these people that are being immigrated here who think that it's okay to be with their daughter. Now, Islam, like I said, if they grab you by your right hand, with their right hand, what you possess with your right hand, it's right in their book. It nullifies that woman's marriage once they're captured. When you capture them, and that just means grabbing them. If they can't move, you've captured them, right? You grab someone's arm and they can't move. That is in the Quran, where her marriage is nullified. Doesn't matter. She's now someone you can have sex with. This is what they believe. This is what Carney supports. This is what he's doing to our country. This is their culture, what they think is okay. You know, we're concerned about these other things, but they want these problems. They want people to suffer. And, you know, and
well, they're the ones that are creating the crisis.
Yes, absolutely.
They're creating this crisis. They know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
They expose what they're doing because they have to tell us what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And
you know, here's the thing, everyone. The thing is here, I go back to the emergency being used for good, and I think it can be used for good.
I agree.
Absolutely.
And that's, definitely. And I agree that with Angel's comment there, what she just posted, by the way, it's not safe to just throw these. The revolving door of the justice system is not safe for
No.
victims, children, families, anybody for that matter.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, this federal government experiment in BC with decriminalizing all drugs, it is disgusting. It needs to end, and it should never be allowed to happen again. This is what I see as a
Yes.
failure in our country. People are dying because of these failed federal government
Yes.
policies. And my big thing is this: when a state of emergency is declared by a municipality, and Paul, if the province doesn't have the capacity to deal with it, they can activate support from the federal government. The federal government is supposed to step in, but the way that the federal government will step in concerns me. I want it to be used for good, not,
Yes.
oh, here's how we solve the emergency. Let's decriminalize all
Yep.
drugs. You don't solve addiction with more addiction, Paul.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
no,
not
because
how you beat it.
it's a government created crisis. That's what they want to create.
Yes.
Is a crisis.
The last thing we want to do is turn to the federal government because they're doing a Hegelian dialect where, problem, reaction, solution. They don't want you to solve the problem. That's why the councils, laugh at you like you're a clown, even though you're dead serious, like graveyard serious about
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I've watched.
Steven's been in there dead serious and,
Yes.
and
Yep.
not being listened to.
But we're dealing with woke people that are brainwashed. And now we've got the technology of the mRNA that can make them happy and own nothing. That's why they say happy. They're telling us they can control your emotions with this technology in 5G.
Your
They can-
mind, your thinking. Yeah.
Yes, yep. They can make you
All of it.
afraid. They can make a whole city kill each other with this technology using frequencies and Wi-Fi. They can see you if you're standing or sitting in your house. There's no privacy. The LED lights, the lights in schools are harming children. The lights they use in school, I've got a post on that. Everywhere you look, poison in the food, glyphosate in forests. What the hell? Why? There's nothing wrong with the forest. Why would you poison the fish and the deer and the antelope? So we're in a war situation. We've got no way to fix it through voting.
No.
The city councils are laughing at us for trying to save our fellow man. But now, today, things have changed because now we all knew anyway, that the government committed a crime. It was illegal. The invocation of the Emergencies Act. It was a crime, and we all knew that. And what they're doing in the cities with the fentanyl and creating this homelessness crisis and mental illness crisis, that's because that's what they're at war at. They want to depopulate. They want less people, and they don't care how to get there.
As
No.
somebody who has lived it, Paul,
Mhm.
I am so happy to be here with you today, talking to you. And
I'm happy
I
you're
don't
here
think
too,
people-
Stephen.
like Cheryl has been with me 100% failure. Well, I can't disagree with that, Angel. Cheryl has been with me every step of the way,
Yeah.
and she will go to war on mental health, homelessness, and addiction with me any day of the week, anytime,
anytime.
anywhere. She'll take time off work to do it. I was very hopeful that because we had a new regional chair, the former regional chair who passed away, rest in peace, but he had his staff rally against the state of emergency. He had them blast me in the press over it. I was wrong. And the press has not been kind to me.
No, not at all. Has not been kind to Stephen at all. They have slammed him in the
biggest
press so many
charges-
times.
The courts hit me with bogus charges because I went after my abuser and defending myself, and I was the one who got persecuted and prosecuted. And I wasn't even found guilty of the charges they printed all over. And when it was found that there was no finding of guilt in my public mischief charges, the media did not clear my name the same way they slandered it.
That's right.
So,
They did it.
I'm
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah.
I'm here today standing up for myself and standing up for all people. Paul, people have different belief systems.
Yes.
We know that, but
And
I'm fighting.
It is important to understand what's being flooded, what their ideology is, who are coming here. I think that's very important, especially how many millions. So they are going to outnumber us. They are going to be able to take seats in office. Our new health minister is Muslim. Now, again, I'm not against Muslim. I'm against the Muslim Brotherhood, the Islamic State. Egypt used to be a Christian country. Now it's the Muslim Brotherhood. They had a coup there. And this is what our government's been supporting all along. We've been saying we're helping, fight against ISIS here and there and all these other wars that we've been involved in. But we've been funding ISIS and Al-Qaeda. We've been like Syria. And Libya is a perfect example. I mean, everyone loved him there. He did amazing things for that country, freeing it. Nobody had to pay for electricity or school, education. And, our media made him a monster. It's absolutely...
Paul, I'm against anyone who perverts faith for their own selfish gain. That's any religion. Anyone who perverts faith. God is love. No matter what you believe, God is love.
The problem is
that's what the message needs to be.
The problem
and
is
anyone perverting that faith is dead wrong. So
the problem is I read their books and I'm just telling you what they think is okay. I mean, the Talmud they say it's okay to have sex with a 3-year-old. I mean, that's horrible. But these are the people that run our country. That's the one that wants a war between Islam and Christians. They're behind it all.
You know what the great thing is, Paul? People have an opportunity to elect somebody like Stephen Soos. People have the opportunity to elect somebody like Cheryl Rowe. I'm going to announce on this podcast, I'm probably going to take a hit for even appearing on this podcast by the traditional biased, obsolete media. But guess what?
Right.
I'm going to say today that I will be running this. I haven't said this to anyone. I haven't told anybody. Cheryl doesn't know. I will be running for city council in 2026.
That's great news.
And I'm going to take the heat. But guess what?
Yes.
I'm not going to run for mayor, Paul, because everyone and their brother wants to run for mayor. But I'm going to run for city council.
Good.
Likely in my ward. And the ward boundaries have been redrawn up. And I hope Cheryl will walk with me like I walked with her when she ran for Ward 6. I hope that Cheryl will be at every door with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, that's one way
It makes me emotional.
That's one way to take back our power is for good people to run. And, so I wish you luck on this.
That's why I say that, we need to gather up independents that will run for government. Like, even if they were a part of party politics at one point, just change it to independent and run independent. And let's vote in the independents like it is at the regional and municipal level of government.
But there's still party influence at that level. That's the problem. We got to get the party influence out of there, because there are a lot of municipal politicians who are loyal to Mark Carney, who are loyal to Doug Ford.
Yep.
Doug Ford appoints regional chair. Let's talk about the regional chair being appointed. Should that not be an elected position? Should the people not get to
it
choose
should be
their
an
regional
elected position.
instead of Doug Ford?
Well, shouldn't it be like that with the CAO too?
Well, that's a staff position, so
But at the same time, should council not be able to vote on that?
Oh, absolutely. The strong mayor powers are an affront to democracy, and the strong mayor powers allow the direct appointment of a CAO by the mayor. It's totally an affront to democracy.
Yeah.
And the mayors are using that to plow their personal agenda through. And I'm against the strong mayor powers. If I ever become a mayor, let's say, Paul, I came this close to winning city council, and there are a lot of people out there who think, when it was a COVID mail-in election, there are a lot of people who think I did better than what the results posted.
Possible.
But then again, it's possible. That's their freedom of thought and opinion. But I'm telling you, I was this close, and this time there will be 2 seats available. Now, I came in second in 2021, so I'm thinking it's going to be a good day this fall for the city of Welland, because I'm coming like a hurricane. Angel's comment.
Yes, the CAO works for the UN.
I must say, I enjoy your viewers, Paul. I enjoy reading.
I have the best, and she was a guest on the show twice now. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, and you were on the show twice as well,
You're
Cheryl.
awesome. Yeah.
But I love you guys for your efforts, and I wish you luck in the election. And thank you all at home for watching. Any final words before we wrap it up today?
I would like to state that, we need support February 10th at 1 p.m. in Regional Council. It's the social committee. We need help to push for
February 10th, eh?
Yep. For PEOC to enact their mandate, our Provincial Emergencies Operations Center. We need support to force them to enact our mandate.
Okay, thank you.
Well, they should have to enact their mandate, and that we want the Community Emergency Management Coordinator to do their job.
Yes.
Their jobs, because you have my final thoughts are this. You have City of Thorold declared, you have Town of Grimsby declared, you have City of Niagara Falls and the region. I hope that all municipalities in Niagara declare, Paul, and I hope that other municipalities watching from Toronto, Toronto declared already a homeless emergency, but watching from coast to coast, declare a mental health, homelessness, and addiction emergency.
So they see, so they see it's everywhere. Thank you. God bless. Thank you for coming on the show, Stephen. And thank you at home for joining us on the Truth Table. Join us for our next episode. I'm going to close off with the video here.
Of a nation. Canada. Fellow Canadians, we are living through the deliberate dismantling of a nation. Canada, once a place where hard work and fairness meant something, has been hijacked by a permanent political class that treats the country as their private ATM. Parliament is no longer a place of representation. It is a protected racket where elites enrich themselves, their families, and their corporate patrons, while the rest of us drown in unaffordable housing, crushing grocery bills, and collapsing public services. Prime Minister Mark Carney, the polished banker-turned-politician, embodies this new era of technocratic detachment. He speaks of inclusive growth from Davos stages, while families in Toronto and Vancouver hand over most of their income to landlords. His international ties and past dealings raise legitimate questions about whose interests he truly serves, but he is only the latest face of a deeper liberal rot that has festered for years. The Liberals, more than any party, have perfected the art of scandal without consequence. They pressured an attorney general to shield a Quebec firm from corruption charges. They steered massive contracts to organizations tied to the leader's own family. They turned a simple border app into a black hole of public money. They handed out green grants to insiders who sat on the same boards approving the funds. They accepted luxury island vacations from lobbyists with business before the government. Each time, the response was the same: denial, deflection, and zero real accountability. But let's not pretend this is only a liberal disease. Conservatives thunder about freedom while quietly preserving the same corporate tax breaks and donor perks. The NDP dreams aloud of sweeping change, yet remains comfortably irrelevant. The Bloc guards Quebec's interests while ignoring the rest of the country's pain. Every party feeds from the same donor trough and protects the same broken system. Foreign interference now operates in plain sight. Evidence of meddling, cash drops, coerced candidates, influence networks piles up, yet governments respond with half measures and secrecy. Our elections are for sale to the highest bidder, domestic or foreign. Lobbyists write our laws. Offshore accounts bleed the treasury. Healthcare waits stretch into years, while hospitals close emergency rooms. Borders are managed as political talking points, not security realities. And through it all, parliamentary privilege and toothless ethics rules ensure that no one at the top ever truly pays a price. This is not incompetence. This is theft. Canada is being hollowed out by people who will never feel the consequences of their decisions. We do not need another election that changes the logo on the theft. We need to burn down the rigged structure itself, peacefully, relentlessly, and together. Demand proportional representation. Demand ranked ballots. Demand citizens' assemblies with real power, not advisory window dressing. Flood your MP's inbox until it breaks. Show up to every town hall and ask one question on repeat. When will you fix the system that protects you and screws the rest of us? Boycott the corporations that bankroll all the major parties. Build real grassroots movements that answer to communities, not donors. This is not a hobby. This is survival. One more generation of apathy, and we become permanent serfs, taxed to death, priced out of our own country, and soothed with empty slogans. Get angry. Stay angry. Organize. Confront them every single day until the rules change or the rulers do. Canada is not broken. It is being stolen. Take it back. Share this if you're done apologizing for a country that no longer works for its people. Fellow Canadians,
I believe the progress that we have made in the partnership sets us up well for the new world order.